بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد صل على وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين الذين يذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا، واللعن الدائم على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين، آمين رب العالمين. صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، صلى الله عليك يا أبا عبد الله، ولعن الله قاتليك. يقول الشاعر: عباس هذا إذا ما كر مختضبا يحيض عن وجل من صوته الذكر، وكيف لا يطحن الفرسان صارمه، وزينب خرجت بالثوب تعتثر، تدعوه يا كافلي روى السقى لنا، فإن أطفالكم للموت تحتضر. فقال: يا زينب تشكون من ظمأ، وطوع سيفي عيون الماء تنفجر، والله لو سد ذو القرنين شاطئها، والوحوش من بعده والجن والبشر، لأحملن عليهم غير مكتثر، وأقرعن بهم حتى وإن كثروا، وأنزل البأس فيهم بأس مقتدر، حتى يظن الملء إنهم حشروا. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. Assalamu alaikum, my dearest brothers and sisters. وعظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم بذكرى استشهاد مولاي سيد الشهداء عليه أفضل الصلاة وأتم السلام، وبذكرى استشهاد لوائه العباس قمر بني هاشم عليه أفضل الصلاة والسلام. Today marks the 7th night of Muharram al-Haram. It may be the most difficult night upon the hearts of the believers, because the tragedy of Abbas alayhi salam is a tragedy that has made the minds go insane for the last 1400 years. It's a tragedy that supersedes the tragedy of all the shuhada of Karbala, except the shahada of Abi Abdullah Al-Hussein. But at the same time, when Abbas alayhi salam was martyred in Karbala, it was as if Abi Abdullah himself was martyred. When Abbas was killed, Hussein was killed. When Hussein was killed, Abbas was killed. Abbas alayhi salam is the mirror of Hussein alayhi salam. Abbas alayhi salam is the spine of Hussein alayhi salam. Abbas alayhi salam is the nucleus of the army of Abi Abdullah alayhi salam. Abbas alayhi salam, and we can say this without more certainty, with no doubt, that Abbas alayhi salam is like Hussein, like Ali was to Muhammad, like Harun was to Musa. That is the connection between Abbas and Hussein alayhum salam. The same way that Ali and Muhammad are nafsun wahida from the Nas of the Quran, Abbas alayhi salam and Hussein from the Nusus, if we pay close attention, we find that they are also one in the same. Which is why it's unfortunate there are some people who doubt in the infallibility of Sayyidina Al-Abbas عليه أفضل الصلاة وأتم السلام. My dear brothers and sisters, yesterday we discussed the Ansar. The Ansar whom which Rasulullah, Amir al-Mu'mineen, and Sayyid al-Shuhada, peace be upon them all, spoke about their high merit and high status. Let us review quickly before we enter into the life of Mawla Al-Abbas. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and I forgot to mention this yesterday, when he describes the Ansar of Abi Abdullah Al-Hussein, he says, لا يجدون ألم الحديد. The Ansar of Sayyid al-Shuhada, when that sword comes to strike them, when the arrows begin to thrust them, when the spears come at them, they don't feel anything because they've reached maqam al-ubudiyyah, which is why As-Sadiq Ja'far ibn Muhammad alayhi salam says, Assalamu alayka Ya Abdul Salih al-Muti'u lillahi wa li rasulih. Maqam al-ubudiyyah. They have reached the level of ubudiyyah, of the righteous slaves, sincere slaves of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then you also read in some of the maqatil, I don't know whether to laugh and smile or whether to cry. The Ansar of Sayyid al-Shuhada, when they were severing their heads in Karbala, the Rawat say we can hear them laughing from miles away. Why? Because Abi Abdullah alayhi salam kashafa lahum al-ghita', he unveiled the heavens and they began to see, Oh Habib, that's your house. Oh Habib, and that's your wife. Oh Burair, you're going to be here. Oh Zuhair, you're going to be here. These are the Ansar of Hussein alayhi salam and Abu Fadl Abbas. If you thought all of these Ansar have a maqam, Abu Fadl Abbas supersedes their maqam. And then Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam says, لا يسبقهم سابق ولا يلحقهم لاحق. Nobody is like the Ansar of Abi Abdullah. Nobody can come close to them. Nobody can come anywhere close to Ansar of Sayyid al-Shuhada. And then of course you have the hadith of Sayyid al-Shuhada himself, لا أجد أصحابا مثل أصحابي وأهل بيت أبر وأفضل من أهل بيتي. I do not see companions like my companions, and I do not see family members, Ahlul Bayt, like my family members. If you wish to draw a diagram outlining the maqamat of Ansar al-Hussein alayhi salam, it would begin with Sayyid al-Shuhada. So we would begin with Abu Fadl al-Abbas. Leave Hussein alayhi salam aside. Abu Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam. And then you can say Ali al-Akbar, and Ali al-Asghar, Abdullah al-Radi', and Qasim, Banu Hashim. Then comes Sheikh of the Ansar, Habib, and so on and so forth. So even in the Ansar there's maqamat. Those are three prophecies. One from Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, one from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and then one from Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And Abbas supersedes all of the others that are under the hands of Sayyid al-Shuhada. Next, after you have these two narrations, you have the two narrations from two infallible Imams, As-Sajjad alayhi salam as well as As-Sadiq alayhi salam. Both Imams have praised Abbas with an appraisal that is not like any other. From the beginning of Adam until the end of time, nobody has been uttered such words when it comes to Abbas alayhi salam. Let me read you the nas of As-Sayyid al-Sajideen wa Zayn al-Abideen alayhi salam. He says when he looks at the face, one day Ubaydullah ibn al-Abbas ibn Ali, the son of al-Abbas, Ubaydullah entered upon Sayyid al-Sajideen, and the Imam alayhi salam began to cry. فَاسْتَعْبَرْ. Then he said, مَا يَوْمُ أَشَدُّ عَلَى رَسُولَ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَآلِهِ وَسَلَّمْ من يوم أحد قتل فيه حمزة بن عبد المطلب أسد الله وأسد رسوله وبعده يوم قتل فيه ابن عمه جعفر. So he begins to paint to you the picture. There was not a day more sorrowful on the hearts of your Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam than the day Hamza was martyred. Then there was not a day after that, like when Ja'far was martyred. He's trying to give you an image. Then he says, وَلَا يَوْمْ كَيَوْمِ الْحُسَيْنِ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامِ أُزْدُلِفَ إِلَيْهِ 30,000 أَلْفًا يَزْعَمُونَ إِنَّهُمْ مِنْ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ كُلٌّ يَتَقَرَّبُ إِلَى اللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ بِدَمِهِ وَهُوَ بِاللَّهِ يَذْكُرُهُمْ حَتَّى قَتَلُوهُ ظُلْمًا وَبَغْيًا وَعُدْوَانًا. So here, the Imam brought you the picture of Hamza and Ja'far. Then he brought you the picture of Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala. And then this is when the Imam is trying to tell you that just like Rasulullah, when that day in Uhud, when Hamza died, he felt so much pain and agony. The same thing happened when Abbas alayhi salam was martyred in Karbala. Hussein felt the same thing, like when his grandfather lost Hamza and Ja'far. Then he says, this is not my words. Who am I? Who are we to talk about Abbas alayhi salam? Sajjad alayhi salam says, Rahimullah anni al-Abbas. Rahimullah anni al-Abbas faqad athara wa abla wa fada akhahu binafsihi hatta quti'at yadahu fa'abdalahu Allah azza wa jalla bihuma جناحين يطير بهما مع الملائكة في الجنة كما جعل لجعفر بن أبي طالب وإن للعباس, the secret lies here, وإن للعباس عند الله تبارك وتعالى منزلة يغبطها جميع الشهداء. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. As-Sajjad alayhi salam tells you that Al-Abbas, he says, may Allah's mercy befall my uncle Abbas, for he preferred himself over his brothers and offered it as a sacrifice in battle. His hands were severed, and God replaced these hands with two angelic wings, so that he may soar with the angels in heavens the same way he graced Ja'far ibn Abi Talib on the day of the judgment. All of the martyrs, all the martyrs will look upon Al-Abbas and envy his position. We will get back to this hadith after, because we want to talk about the part wherein As-Sajjad says يَخْبُطُهَا جَمِيعَ الشُّهَدَاء. What does this mean? But first of all, I want to give you some more manaqib of Al-Abbas alayhi salam, so we can go to the main thing, which is discussing يَخْبُطُهَا جَمِيعَ الشُّهَدَاء. As-Sadiq alayhi salam, Ja'far ibn Muhammad ruhi lahu al-fida, he says, كان عمنا العباس نافذ البصيرة صلب الإيمان جاهد مع أبي عبد الله الحسين وأبلى بلاء حسنا ومضى شهيدا. He says, my uncle Abbas, Abu Fadl Abbas alayhi salam, possessed deep and clear insight and was firm, solid in his faith. He fought alongside his brother Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, and he offered himself in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he became a martyr. Last couple of nights we've been talking about ma'rifah and recognition, and what happens when the abd reaches a high level of ma'rifah and recognition. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Abbas alayhi salam, what did he do? How did he thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Abbas thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by giving himself for Hussein. That's how Abbas thanked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala thanked him and gave him bounties, and he became Babul Hawa'ij. Any of you have tried Abbas alayhi salam when you have a hajah? How many of you have tried Abbas when you have a hajah? We'll discuss that inshallah in more detail later. Why is he called Babul Hawa'ij? Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Before we discuss Maqam Yaghbutha al-Shuhada, I want to narrate to you an image of the young Abbas in Siffin. I found this very important to narrate. Abbas alayhi salam was with his father in Jamal, in Siffin, in Nahrawan, and he played a big part in the wars of his father, Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. I want to see some smiles after this. Watch. Listen what happened in Siffin. The hadith says, in Siffin, a young man departed from the army grounds of the commander of the faithful. He had covered his face with a cloth and only his eyes can be seen. The characteristics of royalty, courage and honor can be seen by merely looking at his movements in battle. His movements in battle gave away that this person is of high regard and high honor. The warriors of Al-Sham could see this from him in the battle, and some would run away because of fear. They would sit and stare at him from afar. Muawiyah was furious, and he called one of his companions by the name of Al-Sha'tha. He was known to be a man that carried the strength of 1,000 horsemen. Muawiyah said to him, ride towards this young man and duel him. Al-Sha'tha, with pride, what did he say? He said, O commander of the faithful, the people equate me to 1,000 warriors, and you want me to rise towards this young man? Al-Asaf. Muawiyah said to him, then what are we to do? He said, I have 7 children. I will send one out to duel him. He sent the first one, and the first one was killed. Second one, the second one was killed. Third one, fourth, seventh, all of them. This young man, this young warrior, killed all 7 of his children. Al-Sha'tha got furious and angry. He said, now it's my turn to ride towards this young man, the man who was known by the Arabs to have the force of 1,000 horsemen. He says, young man, you have killed all of my children. By God, I will make you feel my strikes as if your mother and father never bore you. Allahu Akbar. You talk to Abbas alayhi salam like that? What did Abbas do to him? They dueled. They exchanged swords. The young man delivered a blow that severed him into 2 pieces. Everyone was amazed at the courage of this young man when suddenly the commander of the faithful shouted. They still don't know who this young man is. Come back, my son. I worry that the eyes of the enemies lay dormant upon you. He came back, and the commander of the faithful removed the cloth from the face of Abbas alayhi salam and kissed his forehead. We looked at him, and it was none other than Abbas alayhi salam. This is Abbas alayhi salam in Siffin as a young man. As a young man. Not in Karbala when he was 34 years old, as the historians report. This is the courage of Abbas alayhi salam. So when Imam al-Sadiq describes him to be courageous, to have forbearance, to have loyalty, to have royalty, all these characteristics and more is deserving for him. Honestly, for Abbas, we should have not just one day, we should have every single day should be remembered. He played a very important role in Karbala. And the role that he played in Karbala, do you know that Abbas alayhi salam never fought? In terms of actual jihad, he never did jihad in Karbala. His main job in Karbala was to get water, and that's it. We'll discuss that in more detail. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now we want to discuss, alaykum as-salam, we want to discuss مقام يغبطها جميع الشهداء. Why do all the martyrs envy the status of Abbas alayhi salam when they look upon Abbas alayhi salam and his Nurani? Why? And when they say Jami' al-Shuhada, by the way, don't come and play games with me today. Please. Unfortunately, some people that are muqassireen, that tend to question everything that comes to them, they say, oh, Shuhada means those, yani Shuhada, Hamza, Ja'far. No, Shuhada includes the prophets and the messengers. The Shuhada, except Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Imams. That's it. Who is the Imam? Is the Imam your friend, your brother, for you to come and dissect his words? Who is the Imam? The Imam is the Imam that's speaking from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When the Imam says, يَغْبُطُهَا جَمِيعَ الشُّهَدَاء, Allah is revealing to him and tells him, tell this about Abbas. Let people know Abbas. And you come to me and you come and you begin to dissect the Imam's words. Who are you? As-Sajjad, when he speaks Bala istithna al-shuhada. He's not saying just He's saying يغبطها جميع الشهداء مطلقا جميع الشهداء. All of the martyrs envy the maqam of Abbas alayhi salam. Don't come and reduce the words of the Imam. You come and you apply your principles. Leave the principles of jurisprudence when it comes to fiqh, halal, haram. Don't come and apply it when it comes to beliefs. And we said, what did we say yesterday? Ma'rifat al-Imam bin Nuraniyya. We said that Ma'rifat al-Imam, the person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ma'rifat al-Imam bin Nuraniyya, the person whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tries, is the person that when something comes to them, they accept it, they don't return it. We don't have much time, so let us analyze. What does it mean, يَغْبَطُهَا جَمِيعَ الشُّهَدَاء? And this includes the messengers and the prophets. And in our hadith, in our athar, we see that the prophets all gained martyrdom in one way or another. Or at least we can say most of them gained martyrdom. Some athar tell us all of them, some of them say most of them. The first thing we have to look at, the first maqam of Abbas alayhi salam, when he came to Hussein alayhi salam to ask him to ride towards battle, what did Abi Abdullah say? Please pay close attention. This is not Zayd or Ubayd that's talking. Hussein ibn Ali is talking. All of these ni'am that we have today, we read. بِكُمْ فَتَحَ اللَّهُ بِكُمْ يَخْتِمْ وَبِكُمْ يُنَزِّلُ الْغَيْثِ وَبِكُمْ يُمْسِكُ السَّمَاءَ أَن تَقَعَ عَلَى الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given Muhammad and al-Muhammad wilayah takwiniyya, that with you the creation starts, with you the creation ends, with you the skies are kept, with you the rain falls. Don't come and please, when the Imam talks, listen to the Imam. This is true ma'arif of the Imam. The Imam says, يَا أَخِي كُنْتَ الْعَلَامَةَ مِنْ عَسْكَرِي وَمَجْمَعَ عَدَدِنَا فإذا أنت غدوت يؤول جمعنا إلى الشتات وعمارتنا تنبعث إلى الخراب. Meaning, oh brother, you are the sign, the symbol of the army and the majma', the nucleus, the point of essence, that if you are to go away, my army would dissipate. The dissipate of our ranks. You are the amara, the pillar, the foundation, that if it was not there, all will fall apart. And let me ask you this question. When Abi Abdullah al-Hussein said this to Abbas alayhi salam, was there anybody from the Ansar left? Nobody was left from the Ansar. So what is Abbas trying to, what is Hussein alayhi salam trying to say? That means when you leave, I leave. Not just my army leaves. When you leave, I leave. Majma'u adadina. You are the flag bearer. When Al-Hasan al-Mushtaba alayhi salam was martyred and poisoned, and when they wanted to go bury him by his grandfather, and when Marwan ibn al-Hakam wa al-Jamal alayhima la'anullah came, what happened? What happened? They said, you will not bury what? In my house, that person who I do not like. Referring to Al-Hasan al-Mushtaba. Aisha says to Hasan al-Mushtaba alayhi salam. What happens after that? Abbas alayhi salam takes his hand and puts it on his sword, and he wants to unsheath his sword. Imagine if you unsheath his sword. Hussein alayhi salam says that this is not your day will come. Did Abbas's day come or no? Let me ask you this. What does that mean? أخواني تدبروا بالحديث. تدبر بحديث أفضل من ألف حديث. When you ponder upon a hadith, one hadith, it's better than 1,000 hadith that you read. Meaning Abbas alayhi salam has a place when Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman comes. Sahih? When Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman comes, he needs a flag bearer. And Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman, when he comes, his nida is La Tarat al-Hussein. He will call for the benches of Hussein alayhi salam. Who is the only person that has the sifat that can carry the banner of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman? And our hadith tells us that from the Ansar of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman are those who are in the barzakh. Meaning what? Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Abbas, Ya Abbas, take a break in the barzakh. This is going to be your paradise from now on. And when your time will come, when Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman comes. And inshallah we will be there on that day. And do you want to be there on that day? In case we will die? The Imam says, the person who has belief and iman, Allah will resurrect him on that day. And the person as well, محض الكفر كفر as well will be resurrected on that day. So everything can happen. You will see everything in front of your eyes. If you want to see Abbas alayhi salam, then ma'rifah, iman, and inshallah, if we don't make it when the Imam comes, then inshallah we pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrects us from the grave, so that when we see Abbas holding the banner of Sahab al-Asr wa Zaman. This is what he means, majma'a adadina. You are the nucleus. Meaning he will be the nucleus. He will be the foundation of Sahib al-Asr wa Zaman's army. Ruhi lahu al-fida. That is one reason that the shuhada, the prophets, when they look at Abbas, Allahu Akbar. You are the back of Hussein, you are the nafs of Hussein, you are the soul of Hussein. Of course they're going to envy Abbas. Of course when Yusuf, what does Yusuf say in the Quran? Nabi Allah Yusuf. Nabi Allah Yusuf alayhi salam, what does he say? توفني مسلما والحقني مع بالصالحين. توفني مسلما والحقني بالصالحين. Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says, Assalamu alayka ya ayyuha al-abdu salih. It means Yusuf wishes to be with Abbas alayhi salam. And so on and so forth. What do we say on the first night that we were here? The first 2 nights, what do we say? We said the most important thing that we get from these majalis, the main reason we are here, is to get the rida of Fatima al-Zahra alayha afdal al-salatu tamma salam. Abbas alayhi salam received the pleasure of Fatima. And of course, as all of the Anbiya look upon Abbas alayhi salam, and they see that Abbas alayhi salam was given the pleasure of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam. A story happened, listen to this. A man visited whom? He used to visit Abi Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, and he would visit him in the day at least 4 times, or at least once in the morning. One day he saw in his dream, what did he see in his dream? He saw in his dream Sayyidah Fatima alayhi salam. He said, Salamu alaykum. He said, peace be upon you, O Sayyidah. She would not respond to him. She looked away. Sayyidah, where are my shortcomings? What are my shortcomings? She's like, you don't visit my son. I visit him every single day. Every day I go to Hussein. He's like, no, not my son Hussein, my son Abbas. My son Abbas. The pleasure of Fatima. So now you know that when they say, مَقَامٌ يَغْبُطُهَا جَمِيعَ الشُّهَدَاء, he became Bab al-Hawa'ij. He became the pleasure of Fatima. He became the essence of Hussein, the flag bearer of Hussein. There's much more. There's much more to discuss. But there's something much more important than all of this, is that we must read what happened to Abbas alayhi salam. We're going to read from the Nas. I will begin on the eve of Ashura. On the eve of Ashura, it was not long after that Zainab had woken up and she had went back to her tent. The thought of her brother had left her in distress. The report continues and it says, Zainab, she says, when it was the eve of Ashura, I left my tent to see my brother Hussein, peace be upon him, and his Ansar. He had his own tent. Sayyid al-Shuhada had his own tent. I saw him and he was sitting alone. Your master was sitting alone, Sayyid al-Shuhada, reading the Quran, praying to his Lord. I said to myself, a night like this, my brother is left alone? By Allah, I will go to my brothers and cousins and scold them. Zainab came to the tent of Abbas and she heard from Abbas alayhi salam a humming, reoccurring sound. I looked inside the tent and I saw my cousins and brothers and family members all gathered in a circle around Abbas ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen, and he was kneeling down to them. Kneeling down to them like a lion looking down at his cubs. Abbas is trying to strengthen his family members. He delivered a sermon to his family members that by Allah, I have not heard of it before, except from Al-Hussein ibn Ali. A sermon that gathers everything from glory and praise of Allah, prayer and blessings upon the Prophet. And near the end he said, "O brothers, O cousins, O sons of thy uncles, when thy morning strikes, what do you say?" They said, "The matter goes back to you, and we will not supersede your commands." He said, "The companions of my brother are strangers." Allahu Akbar. Abbas cares about the Ansar of Hussein alayhi salam. "And the weight upon them is grand, and this weight should be fulfilled by the family." Meaning, as in the Ahl Bayt, we should deal with it first. When morning strikes, the first to go forward in battle is you. We will face death before them, so the prophets won't say they placed their companions before them. And when they died, they slowly faced death hour after hour. Banu Hashim all rose and unsheathed their swords in the face of Abbas and said, "We will follow that which you are upon." Zainab said, "When I saw them united in such a manner, with determination and courage, my heart reached serenity, and I was joyful. But at the same time, the tears began to choke me. I wanted to go back to my brother Hussein in order to inform him of what I saw. At this time, I heard coming from the tent of Habib ibn Mudahir a reoccurring humming sound. When I came close and I saw that the companions are all gathered around Habib in a circle. Picture this. My companions, why did you come here? Make it clear for me. May God's mercy be upon you. They said, we came in order to aid the stranger of Fatima, her son. Why did you divorce your halal? They said, for that same reason we came to aid the son of Fatima. When morning strikes, what will you say? The opinion is yours, Habib. Habib said, when morning strikes, the first to ride to battle is you. We will hasten in the battle before them, and we will not see a Hashimi covered in his blood, while we can still move, while our blood still circulates our bodies. This is so that the people will not say about us, they presented their masters to fight and were greedy in presenting their lives. They unsheathed their swords and said, we will follow through with your commands. Zainab said, I was happy to hear that they were determined. But at the same time, again, tears choked me and I moved from them. While I was weeping, I saw Al-Hussein. And Hussein saw me and my heart regained peace. I smiled and said, he said, sister. I said, at your service, my dearest brother. He said, sister, since we left Medina, I have not seen you smile. Inform me, what is the reason? She said, oh brother, I saw such and such. He said, oh sister, know this, that my companions have been chosen in the universe before this, the universe of photons and lights, Alamud Dar. The Prophet has promised with their aid. Do you not wish to see how steadfast they are in this matter? She said, yes. He said, come to me behind the tent. He stood behind the tent and shouted, where are my brothers? Where are my cousins? Banu Hashim came, and amongst the first of them coming was Abbas. Abbas was always the first one to come when Hussein alayhi salam called. He said, Master, what do you need? I wish to renew my covenant with you. The sons of Hussein, Hassan, Ali, Ja'far, Aqil, all came after Abbas. Where are my companions? Hussein calls, where are my companions? Where are you, Habib? Where is Zuhair? Where is Burair? Where is Abbas? They raced towards the Imam, and leading them was Habib. He said, oh master, what do you need? They came with their swords in their hands, and the Imam had ordered them to sit down. The Imam began to deliver an eloquent sermon. He said, oh companions, know that these people do not wish for anyone's death but mine, and whoever is with me, I fear for you from death. If you wish to depart in the darkness of the night, then depart. Upon hearing this, Banu Hashim rose and spoke what they had spoken, and the companions as well. repeating what Banu Hashim had said. When the Imam noticed their determination, he said, if that is your answer, then raise your heads and look upon your place in paradise. Look at the Huris, look at your castles and mansions in paradise. The Huris would call out to them, hasten, hasten, we yearn to be with you. They rose, unsheathing their swords and saying, Ya Aba Abdullah, give us permission to ride towards these people and fight them, so that Allah may do with us what He has ordained. He said, sit down. May Allah have mercy upon you and reward you. Now we will take you to the day of Ashura. All of the companions of Abi Abdullah Al-Hussein alayhi salam were killed one after another. Hussein alayhi salam stood in the field and he kept on looking at all of the enemies. It is reported that Al-Abbas, who carried, this is what Abu Faraj al-Asfahani says, Abbas carried the kunya of Abu al-Fadl, and his mother was al-Banin. He was the oldest of the sons and the last to be killed from amongst his brethren. Al-Abbas carried excellent characteristics. Beautiful, well built. When he would ride his horse, his legs would touch the grounds. He is also given the name of Qamar Bani Hashim and was the flag bearer of Hussein. Now picture this situation. Zuhair comes to Ja'far ibn Abdullah ibn Aqil before he was killed, and he says to him, oh brother, give me the banner. Abdullah said, has any shortcomings come from me? He said, no, but I need this banner for an important reason. Abdullah gave him the banner and came to Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas and said, O son of the commander of the faithful. He begins to tell Abbas why Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam married, why Imam Ali alayhi salam married al-Banin. He says, your father, when he wanted to marry your mother al-Banin, he called for his brother Aqil, who was well versed in the ancestry of the Arabs. The Imam said, oh brother, listen to your Imam. I wish for you to marry me a lady of honorable and courageous ancestry, so that I may be gifted with a courageous child, steadfast and concrete, that will protect my son. He pointed at Hussein and condoled him in Karbala. Your father raised you for this day. Zuhair tells Abbas. Abbas rides towards Hussein alayhi salam. And this happened nights before, when the first time he went to go get water. He says, oh brother, do you give me permission to go into battle? Hussein began to weep and he says, you are the sign of my army and the nucleus, the point of essence that if you are to go away, my army would dissipate. If our ranks might dissipate. You are the amara, the pillar, the foundation, that if it was not here, you would fall apart. Abbas said, may the soul of your brother be offered as a sacrifice for your cause. Oh brother, my soul can no longer reside in this world, and I want to take vengeance from these hypocrites. Al-Hussein said, if you go towards battle, then ask these people to give the children some water. He said, Abbas rode towards battle and he said, Ya ibn Sa'ad, Al-Hussein ibn Ali has said, you have killed my companions, brethren and cousins. Abbas then said, this is Hussein ibn Ali, he is alone with his children and members, thirsty, and the thirst has dried their hearts. Give them some water. His children and family members have come close to death. When Abbas delivered this to them, some were quiet, some did not answer, some were crying. A shimmer came out and he said, say to your brother Hussein that if the world was water and we had access to it, we would not give you a drop unless you pledge allegiance to Yazid. Abbas smiled here. Abbas smiled and he went back to Hussein and told him what they said. The Imam lowered his head and began to cry, because the Imam knows soon that he must give Abbas permission to go to the Furat. On that Ashura, what happened? The Imam came. The Imam began to hear the children cry and shout on Ashura, Al-Atash, Al-Atash, the thirst, the thirst. Abbas heard this and he looked to the sky. Mawlaka Abbas prays, he says, oh Lord, oh Master, I was made for this day. I need to fulfill my duty. I need to fill the water skin with water. Suddenly, Abbas heard also his brother on one side saying, is there no one to protect the pure and sacred maidens of the Messenger of Allah? Is there no one to bring them water? Abbas heard this and he smiled and he said, now is my time to go ask permission again. And again the Imam told him, you are the essence, you are the nucleus, you are the foundation. He prepared his horse and took his banner, carried the water skin on his shoulder and departed towards Abi Abdullah Al-Hussein. He kissed his forehead and asked him for permission to leave once more. The Imam began to cry. And he said to him, go get the children water from Al-Furat. Abbas rose toward the Furat and they circled him from every angle. He said to him, O people, are you disbelievers or Muslims? In your religion, is it allowed that you deny Al-Hussein water, deny his family members, when you have permitted the dogs and the pigs to drink from this water? Al-Hussein is with his family members and he is to die thirsty. Are you not reminded of the thirst on the Day of Judgment? When they heard Al-Abbas speak and after he was finished, 500 men gathered and began shooting Abbas with their arrows. In the report it says when Abbas came, he attacked him right. It says when Abbas came, we attacked him right away, like insects shooting arrows at your master Abbas alayhi salam. Al-Abbas fought this way through them and then he ran away. They ran away from him in fear. Like the lion chasing the sheep, like Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. And he says in poetry, I am not scared of death, for death to me is nothing but sweet. I will not meet death until I face you and meet death. My soul, for the soul of the purified pure, I am thankful and patient for what is about to befall. I am not scared. If one is to knock the doors of battle instead, I will strike the heads and sever the heads. He divided into them and he was reported that he killed 800 horsemen. Abbas made it to the Furat and when he looked at the water and he took a handful from the water, he remembered the thirst of Hussein alayhi salam. By God, I will not taste the water when my master Hussein is thirsty. He began to say, O my soul, my wish that you not live after Hussein. You wish to drink the cold water while Hussein stands and awaits death. Such is not the way of my religion, nor the act of thy truthful one who possesses certainty. They began to shoot him with arrows until his shield was like that of a porcupine. Attacked him was Zayd ibn Raqad al-Jahni. He was hiding from behind a palm tree. He jumped and attacked him and severed your master's right hand. He took his sword with his left hand and he said, by Allah, if you are to sever my right hand, I will continue to fight for my religion and defend my truthful Imam, the son of the Prophet, the pure. With certainty I say, the water skin was placed on his back and he began to fight courageously. Umar ibn Sa'ad said, be careful, woe upon you. If Hussein is to drink a drop of water, he will turn the biggest from amongst you into insects. He is a warrior, son of a warrior, courageous. Send arrows on the water skin. Do not attack Abbas, attack the water skin. They pressured him from every angle and he fought back and killed hundreds of warriors. Again, another weak attack. One of the enemies was behind the palm tree again, jumped at Al-Abbas alayhi salam and severed his left hand and his sword fell on the ground. In the reports, it records two names, alayhim la'anallah, Abdullah ibn Yazid al-Shaybani, another one Al-Hukaym ibn Tufayl. The arrows kept coming until one of them shot the water skin and the water began to pour. That is when Abbas felt true pain. More pain than the arrows that followed, which struck him in the heart. Abbas fell to the ground with no hands. He bent over to his sword and he used his teeth to pick it up. He rose and began to fight a courageous battle. And it was not long after that Abbas, peace be upon him, was struck on the head with an iron pillar that cracked open his skull. He fell to the ground, my dear believers, with no hands to support his fall. Abbas fell face first onto the ground. The arrows inside him pierced his pure body. When Abbas fell onto the ground for the first time, Abbas calls, "Oh brother, oh Aba Abdullah, peace be upon you." How did Imam Hussein alayhi salam come to his brother? What image did he see? What went on in his mind? Oh Sahib al-Asr wal-Zaman. All of the other companions, when they fell to the ground, they had their hands to fight off the arrows, to remove the arrows from the body. What does one do when one has no hands? When one has nothing to defend himself? The report continues. It says, when Hussein heard the call of his brother, he said to him, "Oh Abbas, oh my soul, oh my essence." The Imam fought the enemies in order to reach Abbas, and he looked at his brother and he said, "May God reward you abundantly, for you have consoled your brother and fought in the way of Allah, and it is now that my back has been broken. It is now that my enemy has insulted me. It is now that I feel weak. After you, Abbas, I am lost." My dear brothers and my dear sisters, the brother is the spine of his fellow brother. The brother is the shield. The brother is the back. Imam Hussein has said that one with no brother is one with no spine. The Imam wanted to take Abbas back to the tent, and this is the most tragic part. Abbas said to him, "Oh, I swear to you by your grandfather Rasulullah, don't take me back, because to the young ones and to my sister, for I am embarrassed to go back to them without anything to give." Abu Fadl was left in the battlefield. Where he fell is where he was buried. Now comes the Imam. The Imam walks back to his family. What will the Imam say? What will the Imam do? That is why As-Sajjad alayhi salam says the hour in which Al-Abbas was killed was the hardest upon Sayyid al-Shuhada. How did Abbas walk from there until the Mukhayyam? He walked back broken. All of creation is broken. Walk slowly. As he walks, he wipes his tears. As he walks, he says, "Is there no one to protect us? No one to protect the daughters of the Messenger of Allah?" Until he reached the tent, and this is the hardest part on the heart of Hussein. Little Sakina comes to him and she holds the Imam's horse and she says, "Oh father, have you knowledge of my uncle Abbas? كأنه تأخر بالماء." It seems that if he was late with our water, the Imam began to cry and he said, "Your uncle has been killed and his soul has reached the heavens." Zainab alayhi salam heard of Abbas. "Oh brother, oh Abbas, we have no one to come to our aid after you, my brother." All of the pure maidens began to cry with Zainab, and the Imam cried as well. وَضَيْعَتَا بَعْدَكَ يَا Abbas. My dearest brothers and my dearest sisters, what is the secret behind Abbas alayhi salam calling out his brother for the first time? It is narrated that when Abbas alayhi salam fell to the ground, he saw his mother Fatima al-Zahra, and she said to him, "You have fulfilled your duty, my son. You have fulfilled your duty, my son." And when he heard that Fatima had called Abbas my son, that is why your master Al-Abbas said, "My brother, come to my aid. My brother, come to my aid." And Abbas alayhi salam, it is also said that when Rasulullah during that moments offered him a glass of water to drink, Abbas said, "I swore that I will not drink water until Hussein alayhi salam drinks water." That is Abbas alayhi salam. That is Abbas alayhi salam. And today you're going to mourn Abbas. Give Abbas the best of lamentation. No shortcomings when it comes to the Azar Abbas. They're going to enter soon the Zinjir. If you can carry the chains, then hit your back with chains. If you can bleed, then bleed. Join the mawqib when it comes in. Do you want to please Fatima? Do you want to please Fatima? Then please join the lamentation of Hussein, and Wallahi al-Azim, Father will be pleased with you. If the non-Muslims, let me narrate this story and I come to a conclusion. I'm sorry, I'm taking too much of your time. A woman was brought, a Muslim narrates a story. He was in Hind at the time, in India. A man from Azerbaijan narrates the story. He says, they were rushing towards this woman who had just died And in the Indian culture, they cremate the body. They burn the body. When they burn the body, everything burnt except her chest. Everything was burnt except her chest. They thought that this is because of the a'mal that she did. She may have done something very sinful, which is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever they believe in, will not burn this area. They do not know the secret behind the beating of the chest. This Muslim man asked his sister, have you seen anything that came back from your sister? Has she done anything wrong, anything obscene? She said, no, but once we were walking in the streets, we heard a majlis going on of Sayyid al-Shuhada. And we entered the majlis, and when they told us about Hussein and Abbas and Sakina, involuntarily we began to hit our heads and weep. And then of course we know that the secret behind that area not burning is because with sincerity, she's not a Muslim, she's a mushrikah, but that area is protected because of the aza of Hussein. So when the mawqib comes, no shortcomings, no taqsir, لا تبخل على الحسين عليه السلام. And I swear to you, and I swear to you, and I swear to you, you will be in the highest levels of paradise. بالعليين.